Good morning, everyone. Welcome to beautiful Industry City here in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. I am State Senator Andrew Gounardes. You know, there's an axiom in politics that you should never be videographed or photographed with alcohol nearby or in your hands. But I think today we're here to make an exception because we're here to toast the passage of a really important law that passed this year up in the state legislature, thanks in large part to many of the people who are standing here behind me. And that is legislation that will allow micro distilleries and small distilleries across New York State to be able to ship their products directly to consumers. These are core small businesses that are all across the state that have been prevented by law from being able to sell their products on their websites and to people across the state and beyond, hampering their ability to grow and become part of New York's rich industry here across the state. And so I'm really excited about this law. I wish I could take credit for it myself, but this law was pioneered by State Senator James Gounardes from Orange County, but I was a strong supporter of this. And the reason why we're here today in Brooklyn at Barrow's Intense Ginger Liqueur Tasting Room is because as the state senator represents, I believe, more distilleries than any other member of the state legislature. This is going to be a huge economic boon for the very small businesses here in this district that have become lifebloods in our community and have been great community partners. And so I'm really excited about this. I think this is just the beginning of enormous potential for what these distilleries can do now that they have been unshackled from the restrictions that the law previously placed on them. We're going to hear from a bunch of speakers who helped make this possible and then take some questions from folks and end with a nice toast. And first, I want to call up the president of the New York State Distillers Guild, an organization that represents all of these distilleries and was really fighting for this tooth and nail for several years, and that is Brian Fouquet. Brian?
Thank you, Senator. My name is Brian Fouquet. I'm the president of the New York State Distillers Guild. We have a wonderful organization of manufacturers in New York State. I think for so many people that overlook what goes into the effort of these bottles in front of us are New York grain, New York agriculture, New York farming, New York transportation. So many things come together to allow us to create jobs, to create products, but to create the future of New York State's agriculture. This bill is a step towards fairness, a step towards parity with our New York State winemakers who have taken advantage of being able to ship all over the country for people who want to try New York grapes. Now they can try New York grains and ciders, which is an incredible thing. So would love to thank the Senator Gounardes and Assemblymember Lombardo for all of their efforts in really pushing our bill uphill, and thank you for all of your colleagues for all of the support that's been given. With this, we see a future in manufacturing in New York. We see a future in job creation, well-paying jobs in industry. After all, we don't have to be a service economy all the time. We can create here in New York, and we're so excited that this, if the governor signs this, this will allow us to get bottles shipped all over the country to people who want New York spirits for the holidays. So we really hope the governor will do something that is so positive for this economy, New York State agriculture, and all the people in this room. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Brian brings up a good point that what we have got here with this legislation that was passed simply gives parity to what New York's wine industry currently gets to enjoy. It's been a huge boon to New York's growing wine industry, and we should give the same opportunities to our distillers as well. Next, we're going to hear from our host here for this morning, and that is Josh Morton, who is the owner of Barrow's Intense Ginger Liqueur and Tasting Room. Josh.
First, I want to thank the senator for helping get this legislation passed, and definitely want to urge the governor to sign it as quickly as possible so myself and my fellow distillers can ship it out to the rest of the state. If you haven't been to Industry City, it's an amazing place, and there's a bunch of distilleries here, and you'll hear from some of them already, but not everyone can make it all the way down to Brooklyn, and we also have some, we represent over 40 New York distillers around the state at our New York Tasting Room, and you might not be able to get all the way up to Rochester or out to the Finger Lakes, and with this bill, you'll be able to order online from distilleries all around the state and help support them and help them grow. So I think it's a really important piece of legislation, and it's really important that the governor sign it and sign it quickly so that we can actually have the ability to ship for this season. A lot of our fellow distillers are struggling, and this legislation will really help them grow their business. And so once again, I just want to thank the Senator and urge the Governor to sign it as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Now we're going to hear from another distiller who's based and headquartered here in Industry City, and that's Brian Poland from Brooklyn Pura. Brian?
Thank you. So it's my privilege to be here. We as Brooklyn Pura are proud members of the Industry City community, and this bill is very interesting for us as a business. We sit in the unique position of being a commercial winery and an aspiring distillery. So as a commercial winery during COVID, having the ability and means to directly ship our products to consumers was critical for us generating revenue during those very traumatic times. And now as we enter into a new endeavor of distilling products in New York State, having the consistent ability as a distillery to be able to do that is critical to our business. So thank you, Senator. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Industry City, for giving me the opportunity to speak. This couldn't be more important to my commercial winery business, and I can understand fully why every distillery here thinks of it as critical to the success of theirs. Thank you.
And I think, Brooklyn Pura is a great example of when they're given an opportunity. I think you guys were founded here, and you guys have grown multiple times here because you've been able to foster and really flourish in these spaces. Because the laws encourage and allows you to be able to do more. And that's the same that we want for all of our distilleries across the state. Next, we're going to hear from Carsten de Hoffman from Gaskell and Meyer. Carsten.
How you doing? So I'd like to thank everybody involved. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank the senators from Orange County and all the senators that hopefully will sign this bill. And I'd also like to thank Josh from Barrels of Tents. They are absolutely amazing. They're awesome. And I'd like to say as a cider maker that New York really is known as the Big Apple for a reason. We have an insane amount of apple orchards. We have over 600 apple orchards. We have more than 55,000 acres of land being used for this, and we have more than 55 million bushels of apples being produced. And we all know names like Breezy Hill. We all know names like Tyson, like Purdue, like Monsanto, like these big companies. We don't know names like Fishkill Farms. We don't know Orchard Hill. We don't know Soon's Orchard. And it's because these are small mom and pop businesses that have been hurt by the pandemic, have been hurt by inflation, have been hurt by these things. And this bill is going to help them explode and build their businesses. And people that have been refusing to get into the industry, refusing to build up businesses because it's impossible for them to compete. This is going to help the little guy. This is going to help the small folk, and that's what this is about, and that's what's important. And I understand I've been in this industry for a long time. My family's been in this industry for a long time. We understand the three-tiered system, and we know where it is strong, and we know where it falls short. This will help lift up the people that have fallen through the cracks when it comes to the people that are left behind. Thank you.
I've been to Fishkill Farms, actually.
Oh, there you go.
One person knows of it. Now we're going to hear from the voice of Brooklyn's small business community, which is headquartered right here in Industry City, and that is Randy Pierce, president of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. Randy?
Thank you so much, Senator. Brooklyn's known as the borough of bars and churches. Let's add distilleries to that as well, for sure. But actually, this is a New York State playbook. And historically, we've made a lot of things here in Brooklyn, and a lot of the natural resources come from all over New York State. That's why we're called the Empire State. This is about growing the economy, it's about growing jobs, it's about direct to consumer. We pretty much get everything direct to consumer now. Why not our different liquor and alcohol? So thank you to the Senator and to all your colleagues for making this possible. I do hope the Governor signs this quickly. She's got a track record of sort of being pro sort of signing legislation that's good for the alcohol industry. So let's hope that streak continues because here we are. We've got distillers that are creative, they're creating jobs, they're moving the economy, and they're ready to go getting the alcohol right to your doorstep. So thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Randy. Now we're going to hear from Vanessa Braxton from Black Mama Vodka. Vanessa? All right.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Vanessa Braxton, and I own Gracie Andy Braxton Distillers. I'm from Brooklyn.
All right.
And I own Black Mama Vodka, where it's made in Long Island. I own the distillery in Long Island. I'm actually the first African-American woman distiller in the U.S. This is my 10th year. So signing this is very important. I pushed for this so hard for many, many years. I've made phone calls. You're allowing diversity within the distillery industry. Okay, there's very few. It's bad enough we just don't have everybody supporting New York brands, but we have minority women-owned brands that need supporting too. So when you sign this into law, people from all over will be able to support New York and also support diversity. So please, definitely sign this. Look out for New York brands, Brooklyn brands, my brands, everyone's brand, because we're creating jobs. I'm hiring people from New York, from Brooklyn. My employees come from Brooklyn, from the hood, to come out to Wyandanch, where I am, so I can teach them. So this is very vital for this law to be in place, because you're creating jobs. I use the Sagaponic, I use the farms that are in New York State, I use New York State Ag. We're creating jobs, so please, support us, sign this into law, and let's have a good time. Vanessa Braxton.
Thank you, Vanessa. I'll have to come out and visit you guys on Long Island.
Oh, please do.
And
get you next time.
now we're not in front of the camera. And now we're going to hear from the managing director here at Industry City, and that is Jim Simoza. Jim?
Hello. I want to say this is an extremely important bill for manufacturing in New York. It's important for people to be able to start up manufacturing and grow manufacturing. That's how manufacturing actually establishes itself, as opposed to the larger ones. This is the way to move these companies forward and to start them. It's having an other income than just wholesale. And we have some great examples of this right here at Industry City. We're standing in a space right now, Barrows and Tents. They are able to have a tasting room. That's some additional income that allows them to manufacture and stay in New York. We have Brian Poland right over there of Brooklyn Cora. We just grew them by ×8. Why? Because they were able to do some retail. That's not in this bill. This is the next step to be able to do that. In order to maintain and grow manufacturing in New York, which we all want, as we said, we don't want this just to be a service economy, it's important that these folks be able to avail themselves of other means of income to establish and grow in New York. So I urge the governor to sign this bill. I think it's very important. It's all about the small business. It's all about women and underserved, such as yourself. You know, like she would never be able to, get in and grow a business like this if she wasn't able to also have additional means and lines of income. So I think it's very important they get passed, and we ask that happen. Thank you.
So just to close us out, this is a pro-small business bill that we're asking the governor to sign. This is a pro-New York agriculture bill that we're asking the governor to sign. This is a pro-consumer bill that we're asking the governor to sign. I can't tell you, I live 2 neighborhoods away, and one of our favorite things to do is to give gifts of local Brooklyn-made products for family members, for holidays, and I've got 2 young kids. I can't always make it down here in order to buy someone a bottle of Barrows or Fort Hamilton or Brooklyn Cure or whatever it might be that we want to get someone as a gift. To be able to do that online, be able to go to someone's website and say, I want to get your product, have someone else taste it and try it, is really a game changer. And like Randy said, we can do everything else direct to consumer. There's no reason why this can't be the same. And so we are here. Really want to thank all of the work that went behind passing this bill with this coalition and Senator Skoufis and Assemblywoman Lepardo. And we ask and urge the governor to sign this bill so that these businesses can continue to do what they love to do most, which is serve New Yorkers and continue to grow. And with that, any questions? Otherwise, I think we'll do a toast. All right, thank you very much, everyone. All right, 1, 2, 3. Cheers! Cheers! All right.
All right. To your health.